A month after the most shocking NBA trade of our time, we now have one of the most stunning coach firings in recent memory, as the Memphis Grizzlies have parted ways with Taylor Jenkins. A change on the sidelines will never rise to the level of a Doncic-level trade, but Jenkins getting canned was baffling nonetheless, and it surely sent shockwaves through coaching circles. So, what were the Grizzlies thinking? At the time of Jenkins' termination, just weeks before the playoffs, the Grizzlies were tied for fourth in a stacked Western Conference. They had a top 8 overall record despite losing the 6th most games to injury. Memphis boasted the league's 4th best point differential, 6th ranked offense, and 11th ranked defense, even though Morant had missed 30 games. That's why most of us spent the days after Jenkins' firing wondering what happened behind the scenes. Just as we were all left asking in the aftermath of the Doncic trade, this can't just be about basketball, can it?
There is more to this story.
There had been reports of friction between Jenkins and general manager Zach Kleiman since Jenkins' staff was overhauled against his wishes last summer, while Morant has reportedly been unhappy with his role in the Grizzlies' new offense, which was revamped by a couple of those new assistants. But not even a feud between Jenkins and the front office or Jenkins and Ja would justify this decision at this point in the season. We don't know what really happened off the court, but here's what we can definitively say about Jenkins' Grizzlies on the court. All they ever did was overachieve. In Morant's triumphant rookie season, Memphis fell short against the veteran Trailblazers in the NBA's first play-in game. But the fact the young Grizzlies were even in the postseason conversation was an accomplishment to build on. After breaking through as an 8 seed in 2021, the Grizzlies exploded for 107 wins over the following 2 seasons, winning back-to-back Southwest Division titles while finishing second in the West both years. A hard-fought second-round loss to the eventual champion Warriors in 2022 preceded a disappointing first-round exit at the hands of the Lakers in 2023. But with Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane forming the team's core, the future appeared bright. Even when their 2023-24 campaign was derailed by Morant's suspension and an unfathomably long injury list, the Grizzlies still made strides in their own way. Jackson and Bane continued to add to their repertoires, which paid dividends this season, while Jenkins extracted more than anyone thought possible from G-Leaguers and former nobodies on a nightly basis. Sure, Memphis never made a conference final under Jenkins and lost their last 2 playoff series as the higher seed. But given the talent on hand, how many coaches would have had the Grizzlies in the position Jenkins had them over the last 6 years? One way to capture how Memphis consistently outperformed expectations in the Morant and Jenkins era is to compare its regular season success to preseason over-unders. Keep in mind when looking at these numbers, though, that Morant has missed roughly 47% of Memphis's games over the last 4 years. On that note, I'd pump the brakes on assuming teams will line up to free Ja from the dysfunctional Grizzlies. He is a breathtaking superstar and difference maker when fully engaged, but the off-court issues are real and he hasn't been available enough. Fewer teams than you think would be willing to deal with the headaches Morant brings with him.
I've heard he's a troublemaker.
Back to Jenkins. The Grizzlies have always been more than the sum of their parts with him in charge, but that doesn't mean he was perfect. While we marvel at the fact only 2 Grizzlies were averaging 30+ minutes per game and none averaged more than 32, Grizzlies fans will tell you they weren't exactly thrilled with Jenkins' substitution patterns or in-game management. And while Memphis' new and improved offense draws rave reviews for its unique approach, which we outlined only a couple months ago, some see a strategy that too often reduces Morant to spectator status. Unsurprisingly, the assistant coach credited with constructing that system has also been fired. However, new interim head coach Thomas Isalo also had an influence on the new offensive approach, so I don't know what to make of it. And for the record, Morant still owns a top 15 usage rate. He's just not getting to his shots the way he'd like to, which is primarily through pick and rolls. The Grizzlies had also lost their trademark defensive edge in the months leading up to Jenkins' dismissal, were generally scuffling down the stretch, and some internal tension was bubbling to the surface, as evidenced by a recent confrontation between Bane and Santi Aldama. But were those all signs Jenkins had lost the locker room? Or was it merely the ebb and flow of a marathon season, particularly when a team is often banged up and missing its best player? Barring the revelation of some behind-the-scenes scandal, firing Jenkins seems absurd. No one should be surprised if the team that made overachieving its trademark under Jenkins suddenly finds it difficult to fulfill the promise he left behind.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.